and gentlemen, and welcome. I am back. What's up? What's up? What's up, Jason?
Your Uber today.
That's because well, you know what? I'm buff.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. I'm back to D-Man. Back to... guys, let's just get straight in the game, Jason, because the game is underway already. They've kind of started without us, so we're going to jump straight in there. It is jumping straight into Russia versus Norway. You can see Russia going to be on the blue side and Norway on the red. I do have sound on honest in game.
Do you have the stream muted on audio?
No.
The audio channels.
Oh, maybe it
mixers. So we'll head back to
Go
our
back to
faces
us,
really
and I
quickly.
can do that quick.
Yeah, so to kind of recap what's happened today, we do have a clean feed. So we kind of got caught off guard when they went into game, then we had to shuffle some things around, and there you go. So we do have audio. We'll jump back into game in a second. It's going to be Russia against Norway. It's going to be a best of 5. Winner of this one will be going to BlizzCon, and loser will unfortunately... Is that as loud as it goes?
It's on full. It's on full, man. You're just going to hump it up.
We're cranking ourselves up really high here. But for Russia, we have Godspeed, Unfixed, Rubicon, Cypher, Shadowburn, and Reds. And for Norway, we saw them actually quite a few times already. Trop, Onagod, Average Jonas, Badger, Horsey, and Envision.
It's not exactly the greatest feed I've ever seen in my life, but so we're just going to have to bear with the pixelator that we have as well. But you can see at the moment, pretty much ulti's ready there. Russia have had a couple of defenses already working out. That's a great gravity surge straight down there. That should clear them out. Is it going to be enough? The Transcenders came out there. Should it keep them alive? You can see he's getting onto Horsey. Horsey's getting burned down by Unfixed. Will get dropped down. That's the support's getting dropped. Lucio's just going to be forced to back away. He can't contest with a 90+ laser coming out of Zaya, and Unfixed just blast them down. Russia hold strong once again. Norway, they've only got just inside 2 minutes to try and cap out this first point on Hollywood.
And Russia actually coming through first out of the groups as well, beating Italy, I think, in the final game, forcing Italy to come out second. And Norway coming in second, losing to France, unfortunately for them, in a crazy series between the two that went the full best of 3. The map pool, for you guys who are wondering, just really quickly, I'm not sure if we went over this just yet, but it's Hollywood, Hanamura, Watchpoint Gibraltar, Kings Row, and Ilios. They're played in that order as far as I'm told. In the meantime, Shadowburn playing a defensive Genji here, looking to actually go in onto Norway with his, his Dragon Blade available. Is he going to get towards the back line here?
He's going to try and get on towards the supports. You can see he's asking for the Lucio. Can't find him, though, and actually missing just about everything. Swing and a miss. Finally gets himself a kill in there, but doesn't matter because the rest of his team have done it for him, and you're not going to get out of there, Envision. You will get taken down. So, Genji's coming out, Jason. This is what surprised me. Obviously, there was a lot of talk. Every pro player in the world moaned like crazy. Oh my god, you've nerfed my Genji! How is this possible? But here we are.
Is that their collective tone?
That is the collective tone of pro players. But here we are. We have 2 Genjis in this game.
Yeah, no, Genji, he's still played a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's like still... Oh, I can't remember the percent. I just saw yesterday.
It doesn't stop them complaining, though, does it?
Oh, of course, everyone's going to complain about everything. Now, Genji's still good. The big key is that Shadowburn's playing Genji defensively, which is something you typically don't see. But he's just so damn good at Genji, as you see there. There's no reason at all for him to not play it. But that would be a good reflect out of him, killing Onagod. Not to mention Russia, with only 20 seconds left to defend this one. Norway is looking to struggle, or is actually just struggling, period, to even capture this point.
I mean, in fairness, it is Shadowburns, who was always a very good Genji. I guess the very good Genji players are still good Genji players. The guys that were average, who were getting away with it by the strength of Genji, are probably the ones that are struggling and complaining. But here we go, Shadowburn going off once again. You can hear the chime, the sound. They're not getting near the point, and that is going to be Russia with a very, very easy hold there. Obviously, a decent mix in Russian team of pro players between Anox, FaZe, Reunited, etc. Everybody in there is a very strong team coming into this one. Obviously, one of... I wouldn't say the favourites. I wouldn't go that far, because obviously you're looking at your Sweden, your Finlands, maybe even your USAs that are pretty damn strong teams, and
I mean,
arguably China as well. We're yet to see what they're going to be like, because obviously they're all made up of Invictus Gaming, aren't they?
Yeah. Thing is, like, we have a ridiculous amount of good teams coming out of Europe. So we got Russia, which has 4 pro players. Godspeed and Reds, I'm not sure if they're on any professional team at the moment. They're probably on a team, definitely, but whether or not they're professional is a different story. You've got Germany with, like, Internet Hulk, you have Artier, you have Icefelt in there, you have Skipjack. You have an insane lineup for them. Finland as well, the Finns, oh god, you have to go back and watch some of their games, because seeing Taimu playing Lucio was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Not sure if Skipjack's going to play, actually. We'll see.
So, no, he dropped out of the Overwatch Open, but BlizzCon's like 3 weeks to like a month later.
Yeah.
So,
but
I
obviously,
think,
we see whether he plays the qualifiers this week.
no, he played last week.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if he's going to play now. Now he's dropped out.
He will.
If he's going to take some time out, but
I think he will, because this doesn't really, I guess, collide too much with his mother's health. But then you have as well Sweden. Tavik, Coco, IDDQD, Burix, like insane roster for them. And even Spain and the CS and Baltic Sea. That one's actually going to be a really interesting game between the two teams because you have we have Winghaven over on Spain with like Harry Hook and Bromos, and then the CS and Baltic Sea. You've had some insane players from their side. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who's on their team.
You're saying you're not giving AlphaCast a bit of a chance in there?
No. I mean, yeah, they're not a pro team though. Like they have D-Gun, they have Crew. And, oh God, who's the last one? Who's the last pro player? Oh, this is killing me. I can't remember. Who is it? Help me out here. Nox. There we go. Nox. Thank you. But in the meantime, Russia, all they have to do is capture this first point, and they will have won this first map.
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy task. Here we go. Let's see if they can do it in one. It's going to be Reds leading the charge. Shield up, charged up. Zarya shield on him as well. Everything working out for him. They're not going with the full triple tank situation, which we've seen a lot of the pro teams starting to do lately, actually. But you can see Cypher coming around. Cypher playing on McCree. Something we don't ordinarily see, actually, when he plays for Anox. We haven't seen a great deal of that, but obviously he's gone through pretty much a plethora of heroes that he's played, but as it is, Onigod on the Pharah. Pharah coming back into it a little bit along with Mercy upgrade that came in, obviously, the previous patch. A lot of teams shifting through the metas. Onigod trying his best to keep them away here, but it's looking like it's going to work out okay. That's a decent barrage. Gets himself a triple. That'll do nicely. So, first hold works out.
Yeah, the problem, though, is that Russia, like, once they have ultimates ready to go, that's when they get really dangerous.
Yeah.
Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade. Cypher almost actually about to have his Deadeye available and unfixed with the Graviton Surge. Norway, they expended ultimates when they had it there because they realized if we don't hold the first point, then we lose anyway. So use every ultimate you have as quick as you possibly can to make sure to hold. And Badger, I think he's actually, I was going to say, go for maybe a switch last second. But Trob, we have to keep an eye on him. If he dies in this fight, they have no chance for a refit off the back. They're running this 2 support comp, but no Symmetra to actually have at teleporter as well.
Well, Mercy, that ulti, like you say, from Trob, that's going to be the vital part in this defense. Shadowburn trying to get a sneak around the side there. Trying to distract, and he's done a good job because he's got Onigod. Onigod puts a rocket into the wall, does himself in, then takes a shuriken to the face. He goes down. There's a second kill. Now keep your eye on Trob. Trob's got the res. There it is. The big resurrect comes through. Is it going to be enough as he gets caught in the stairs?
Yeah, not to mention the Graviton Surge is going to pull them all together. It's just pretty much coming up to this monkey doll stall. And Badger, I'm not sure how much more work you can do here when Russia has Shadowburn with Dragon Blade available to cut off any sort of reinforcements. And that should be Russia taking the first map here in this best of 5.
Yeah, pretty solid work. Came in the second attack, took them 2 minutes, but they held strong. So 1-0 for Russia. Mother Russia is strong, and they are proving that way. Norway, of course. Is that one of the countries that borders with it? Finland borders with it. Does Norway border with Russia? I'm not sure. I don't think it does.
So.
Norway's on the left side, isn't it? Finland's the blob in between them. Yeah, so no, it doesn't.
I've been learning quite a bit lately when it comes to...
Finland does border Russia. Norway, yeah, I think
Finland
it might do.
Russia.
No, yeah, Finland does, definitely. Norway, it's Norway, yeah. So it's the tiniest little blob at the top, yeah.
I'll count it. I'll count it. But yeah, so Russia take the first map in this series. And to keep you guys up to date with what's going on, these are the only 3 matches we have scheduled today. Russia versus Norway, Finland versus Benelux at 7 p.m. or 1900 CEST, and then France versus Turkey at 8 p.m., which is 2000 CEST. The other matches, Germany, Iceland, Sweden, Italy, and Spain versus CS and Baltic Sea. Those have yet to be scheduled by the players, so we don't know when those games are happening.
So have you covered the Turkish team at all yet? Because I saw Lithilion's in there. Now, Lithilion, as far as I know, I'm wondering if it's the same League of Legends player that used to
be for the Turkish team. So actually Zonda plays over, was he XTPA?
Yeah,
Zonda?
so, yeah.
He plays with an Overwatch team. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Zonda, LOL.
I mean, it makes sense. This is something we've talked about a lot, obviously. The way the game, it transfers very well. Obviously, a mobile player fully knows exactly the spell, I don't know what we call them at, the utility, your skills, whatever you want to call the skills they have. Obviously, you have an ulti. Well, surprising, but it bleeds across nicely. So it's no surprise that actually we're starting to see a lot of these mobile players bleeding across into
I mean,
Overwatch.
Even the Korean team. It was a Korean team.
It's interesting because obviously we've talked a lot about the Shootmania guys and the Quake guys and everything else that's come across. Now we're seeing them come the other way as well.
Is it Woong? Who actually coaches a team in Korea?
Really?
I think
From
it's Woong.
Frost.
I think it is. I can't.
The
I can't remember off the life of me.
the dirty cheater. He's the man that looked at the screen in season 2. The TSM game went and got a glimpse of the minute 1 play. Anyway, that aside, let's talk about Norway versus Russia. It's going to be Hanamura coming up next. Obviously, it's totally possible we could see Russia just whitewashing their way through on a 3-0 here. It is going to be Norway on the attack again, unless anything changes. I can see it on the screen at the moment.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm like multitasking
you're
with
doing
admins.
everything. You're doing everything. I'll just keep on talking.
Just look pretty for me.
But actually,
Shouldn't be hard.
Look pretty. I'm not sure I can do that. But I did actually want to quiz you because now we've actually Now we've finally got a moment to talk about what's happened. A lot of guys, including myself, I've been away in the UK for a week. So I missed pretty much everything that's happened over the weekend. And a lot has happened over the weekend. A lot of games. I just kept looking at Twitter because I think it was the day I was going. It was like suddenly it was like you and Mitch having a moment of, oh my god, we got to do all this weekend.
Well, no,
and I was like, I'm not here.
Originally, we weren't supposed to do any of those games. We were supposed to do these this week. That's the way it originally was set up, but because we wouldn't even be able to see some countries because they wouldn't make it through the stage.
Groups,
we want to try to cover as many games as possible. So like last minute, we had to organize a ton of casters to get them into these games, organize the games, and then show as many as possible. We've seen, I think. So there was a lot of complaints in general, I think, about the World Cup in terms of like, oh, we want all pro players to like go head to head, no YouTube or anything like that.
I mean, they didn't understand the premise of what the World Cup was for.
What's so good about the World Cup is we got to see the Israeli team play.
Yeah.
And a guy named Cafe, I don't know how you say it.
Man?
He was the McCree man who was
Mitch
like
was telling me
almost Taimu level kind of McCree. It was insane to see plays like that. And he never would have had the opportunity to actually show off his skills necessarily.
Against Bulgaria, wasn't it?
It was Israel versus probably Bulgaria.
It was Bulgaria, yeah. And if you want to check it out, guys, you can check it out on the YouTube, Overdrive OW. Yep. I noticed that Jason has put everything up there, which is brilliant.
Exclamation point VODs, I think.
What is it? Exclamation point VODs.
And
give you the link. There you go. Jason's just done it for you.
No, never mind. That gives you the wrong playlist. Anyways, but yeah, we have all the games over there, so you guys can check them out. I would say Finland versus UK is probably one of the most enjoyable games.
Yep.
Seeing Linkser and Numlock, two teammates in Team Dignitas going head to head,
chasing each other,
trying to kill each other.
Not really
it was funny
because
we saw Finland play a match. It was on like Volskaya. It was against Ireland, and after the game, Linkser tweets basically, charge in, hold left, or hold mouse 1, hold W, and get nano boosted because he was so happy. Just that's all he had to do, and he would pick up like triple quad kills every time, and he would never die.
It's a little
bit out of his style, but he did definitely a really good run.
They've been having fun with it, haven't they? Yeah. They've been having fun. But the thing is, I mean, it reminds you. I guess this happens. Okay, there's certain nations out there that are big esports, and your Scandinavian countries, and there's certain ones that aren't. Your island may well be in there. I'm hard pushed to think of any top Irish esports players that have been there. There's probably, I'm thinking of maybe a couple of FPS guys over the years, but very few. So I guess you think of it in the early stages of the Go4s, like an Envious coming through. They're in the early stages of a Go4 and they're just like steamrolling over.
To be fair to Ireland, they had a great time actually.
I'm sure they did.
Because after they captured the first point on Hollywood, they started cheering in chat and be all excited. And then another guy was like, "Can we just finish this game already? Because I want to go grab a pint." I was just like, all right. Yeah, it was good times.
You get this down you and enjoy.
Yeah, I have no idea actually what's happening with this match right now. What's waiting?
We're sat waiting. They're all here.
Unfortunately, that's kind of what happens when we have a clean feed.
We're at the mercy of Rubicon because he's the game starter. He is the man with the tick.
Oh, they actually turned off chat as well, so we can't even see what they're saying.
We have no idea. Yeah, we have no idea.
But I guess we can recap for you guys who are just joining us. We have Finland versus Benelux coming up after this game at 1900, so about an hour and a half from now.
Should we? Yeah, carry on.
Oh, okay. And then France versus Turkey, which I don't know if we'll be able to cover. It depends on how quickly that first match or the second match happens with Finland versus Benelux. And then again, we don't know what other matches will be coming up the next few days.
It might be a quick 3-0.
No, I just don't know how quick it'll last. Okay. Like if it goes on decently long, then we won't be able to cover France.
I was going to say something we could do is probably share the groups because there might be people tuning in now.
Yeah, we can show the bracket, I guess.
No, I was thinking the actual groups of like how it fed out in the groups.
Yeah, I don't have a link to that right now.
Oh, just you can Google it. Trust me, it went straight there. ESL Overwatch World Cup.
I'm gonna use my hacking skills.
You're such a great hacker. That's amazing. You just did exactly what I said. There we go. Perfect. So if you guys missed it, including myself, I missed it as well. So you're unsure exactly of what laid out. Jason, lay it out on a platter for us.
I'm just going to read.
You're
That's
just
what I'm
going to
gonna
read
do.
it.
So Germany didn't lose a single time, actually, across the whole
Not
group.
too surprising, that one, is
Actually,
it really?
well, funny enough, it kind of was, because when we had Germany, we had Internet Hulk actually in Cologne for a little bit of time, and the game's actually starting, so we'll hop out of this. He was in Cologne for a little bit, and Mitch and I had some drinks with him.
Yeah,
and he said
I
they've been
missed it.
practicing against CIS and Baltic, against Volotage's team, and they were losing every payload game. But they were winning on King of the Hill. But when it actually came to them playing against each other, they actually won the payload maps too.
And lost on King of the Hill.
No, oh yeah, so it's, yeah, we'll see.
Bit flip it either side. But Hanamura is going to be the next map as we load in there. Blizzard providing us with this wonderful clean feed. So a lot of observers, a lot of everything set up. We're happy to see this in action. We even get some beautiful little bird tweeting. So I've just come back from the UK. It's very strange because obviously I live in Cologne now, and I have done for years now. So I'm so used to the town sounds and the city sounds, etc. So I go back to the UK, go back in my old bedroom with the windows open, trying to get things, and all you hear is
That's
like
gotta be weird.
bird sounds and everything. It's just like, what on earth? What is this world I came from? I'm not used to this sort of thing. Yeah. So now I wondered why my phone alarm, which is like bird tweeting and stuff like that. Now I understand where it came from. Now I understand why I have it, because obviously it must be. Maybe I did deep down. A bit like you missed burgers.
I miss a lot of food. I would be so overweight if I was back in the US right now. Meantime, though, we can see Russia actually switching some things up. They're going to be running Shadowburn on Mei, which they do quite a bit here. So the idea of this is use Reds to hold that front line. Mei's going to get a wall down and actually block off when you try to come in, and then kill you one by one. They ideally cut off half your team so you can have a 6v3 or 6v2 fight. Norway's side, though, a little bit mobile. They have Envision and they have Badger together to actually hop past this wall if they want to, but they're not running the counter Mei strat where you use a Mei wall to walk across any sort of wall coming out of Shadowburn, which they might switch to.
Well, we'll see. Average Joe Jonas, Average Joe, whichever you want to call him. Average Joe Jonas, maybe. Is that going to be the Badger? We'll find out on all those really poor puns that could come out with Horsey and Badger in there. Doesn't matter. Shadowburn's going to get himself launched in around the back. This is a great attack coming out of Norway. They've already picked up 3. Cypher is trying to save their bacon. Shadowburn comes in. He gets himself a shot. Cypher gets a second. And finally, they might try and turn this one around, but it's already a great attack for Norway.
Yeah, and Shadowburn, he's not going to really be able to do too much. He's trying to actually stall so he can get his prism back up, but he will be taken down. And remember, since we are on the new competitive mode season 2, there's a big time bank system involved, even though time was actually reduced, I think, on this map in general.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes instead of 5, isn't it now?
Yeah, so now Norway going to be on the attack. They don't have any ultimates ready, though. But they have a hell of a lot of people close. Envision, Average Jonas, Onigod, even Badger relatively close. And Russia needs to put up a good defense here. Considering they have like a team of, like a really highly skilled team, I'm a little bit actually surprised to see Norway break through on the first try.
Yeah, the surprise factor, or maybe even just Russia's bad defensive setup. I'm not too sure which. Cypher managed to get himself his Deadeye ready and waiting to go, though. So he built that up. Envision tries to get around the side, gets caught out. You can see the quick Winston in his face from Unfix. They're going to try and push up around that ledge. Is it going to work out? There's going to be the charge. Think he charged out of nothing. Shadowburn's ult comes out. Doesn't really catch a great deal. Gets himself 1 kill, though. Cypher is doing work around the back, but they're still losing people on the point.
Yeah, they should have enough, though. I don't think Norway has the reinforcements in time. And not to mention, you have so much stall potential out of a Mei, and then you have Earthshatter available for Reds, which they're going to try to push up into this high ground position yet again. And you can see Red's not going back to spawn to actually heal, because he wants to get Godspeed's ultimate up a little bit quicker for this next fight, especially when you're going to have this Dragon Blade coming out of Envision. Ooh. Shadowburn.
A lot of ults ready for Norway as well, so this could work out. Shadowburn getting picked off early. I guess he was going maybe aggressive around the side, not too sure. He'd used his ulti in the last fight. Looks like he's going to stick with Mei, though. Now you hear the Deadeye going off. Can't actually see it. Envision's going to be the man. He's looking to get himself a kill on towards Unfix there, but Unfix does have that Primal Rage ready and waiting. Envision pops himself his Dragon Blade. He's even gets him. Unfix goes down. Didn't use his ulti at all there. That may be a big mistake.
It seems like they have enough,
okay,
though, and that Transcendence coming out of Horsey was a little bit too late. There's only 3 people left on the point here, and I believe, and Vision to get down, Onigod's about to fall as well. Actually, they're able to pick up a couple of kills, but again, the defender has the advantage. Well, the defenders still have the advantage, though. Even if they pick up like 1 or 2 more kills, it won't be enough. The Earthshatter's coming through, though, but Norway doesn't have the reinforcements in time to actually keep this point alive. So Russia will hold again, and now Norway has 5 minutes left.
So first marker has been hit. Is it going to be enough? 5 minutes, you say? You can see Unfixed, of course, went down without using his Primal Rage. Could have saved himself there as Envision started chopping away at his behind. Cypher, though, seems to be one of the saving graces for them. He's been really landing the shots with this McCree. working well. You can see he's got his Deadeye ready and waiting to go once again. And it does look like the left flank once again, or right flank, whichever camera angle you prefer, is going to be the point of impact.
Yeah, I think Cypher usually doesn't play McCree with any Inox either. Yeah. So it's kind of funny to actually see him play McCree this time. And Shadowburn allowed to play what he wants to. Good wall off there, actually, but he gets blocked off by it. Actually stunned up by the flashbang. And Unfix coming out the backside. Nice. Now the Primal Rage can do work here. He's hitting 4 people at the same time. And he's not going to pop the Primal Rage as he gets taken down by Envision in time. In the meantime, the point is still being captured, though, as it looks like Badger's just going to back away.
Yeah, but I mean, they picked up a couple of kills there. Envision managed to get 2 or 3 on the exit there, so they are going to push in. They've got 3 on 3 at the moment on point, but as he's mentioned before, obviously you do get much faster reinforcements. There's going to be Envision leaping in. Badger goes in, but he gets picked up by Rubicon, and Horsey is forced to back away. He does have himself that ulti available, but absolutely no reason to use it on the rest of his team forced away. So, just under 4 minutes and counting. Now, Russia needs to be careful they don't go a little too aggressive. There's the Transcendence coming out. That's pretty early. Unfix did get himself the kill. More importantly, it was on the McCree. Onigot gets taken down, so that's just more defensive work. And Russia's aggressive defense has paid off, and he's bought themselves another 30-plus seconds.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, having 5 ultimates ready to go, Shadowburn switching over to the Tracer. I mean, pushing out, getting a kill or 2, it delays the push, like you just said, but also gives you a lot of extra ults to work with in the fight. And not to mention, speaking of ultimates, Unfix has had his ult ready for the last 2 big team fights that have happened, and yet he hasn't actually popped it. Whether or not that was delay in reaction, I'm going to assume it was actually more a focus, actually intended.
Shadowburn pops around the side there, does get picked off eventually. Red's actually taken very low and will get dropped. That's 2 down. Now Cypher with the Deadeye. He's going to be able to catch anything? No. The shield works, does its job, and now they may even be able to cap out the point here. You can see they're going to force in.
Oh,
those dead guys are going to come around the side. Cypher gets himself the 1 down, takes himself out the tank, but he can't do much else. But Shadowburn's back alive.
That Earthshatter, he actually stopped it with the flashbang at Average Jonas, and he wasn't able to actually get the capitalize the kill onto that, able to drag this one out and fight even further, and Norway are still just falling 1 by 1. Badger switch over from the Winston out to Zarya here. He's getting some good charge on, actually had 100 energy, but the problem is ult isn't ready. He's by himself, and Norway will fall again. So after that first point taken of Norway on the first attack, they're struggling to get the second point.
Yeah, I mean, they did great. They got Shadowburn and Reds down so early on, but obviously, because it was so early and then you have such an elongated fight, Shadowburn comes straight back on Tracer. Thank you very much. Gets himself a double. Job done. Now, they've got to sit and hope that Envision can manage to get that ulti off in a good situation. They've been hitting this right flank time and time again. Are they going to make any adjustments? It doesn't look like it.
Well, I like how Unfix switched off the Winston because of Envision on the Reaper and the Discord about a horse. He was getting focused on quite heavily. And again, that wall keeps Badger off to himself. Godspeed picks up the kill. They waste a Transcendence. And now Norway are just fighting with an ult disadvantage here.
Red's got booped off the edge there, got forced to wait. And there's going to be the drop down, but it's going to get absolutely nothing. Just a single kill picked up. The Deadeye comes out from Cypher. Doesn't get anything from it, but the flashbang is good. Gets around the side. Can't finish the job, though. And now he's up against it. There's 4 people on the point. They've got themselves almost onto that second marker. In comes May. There goes the Blizzard getting thrown down, keeping them off the point. And that will clear everything out. And Russia hold strong once again. Unless Onigod can pull anything off here. He's left clicking, but he's not getting the kills. Now he does. Gets himself around the side there. Is it going to be enough? The Divas come out. The Transcendence gets used. Everything from Russia trying thrown out there. But they still not hit that second marker.
Yeah, they delayed for a hell of a long time, and that May alone was able to keep that one contested, but they're actually getting extremely close. Unfix coming back in again. He's going to be able to stall for even longer than this would, and Norway need to continue to pick up these kills. Russia need to finally be able to secure some, or need to secure some to actually turn this one around, but it's just all going red. It's all going Norway, and they have finally been able to capture that second point with 1 minute left in their time bank.
Dead on.
That's rough.
Yeah, that was...
They had 7 minutes to capture the second point.
Yeah, that's a long old hold there from Russia. Solid stuff. Worked out well for them. Norway, though, you know, at the end of the day, all you can do is cap out the point, and they did that. So, you never know. They might be able to hold off. Now, remember, Russia lost that first point very, very quickly. If Norway can just hold off 1 or 2 waves, that's going to buy them a hell of a lot of time.
I'm just wondering if they can do it. That's my real question. Like, Shadowburn is going to play Genji 100%. And how do you can't, it's really difficult to stop a Shadowburn Genji because he's probably the most prolific Genji player currently, at least in Europe. I'd say even in North America, to be honest. But they're going to try the Mace strat again. So they have Average Jonas there to actually protect the front. My problem is they're actually lacking a little bit of damage. I would like to see Badger playing like Zarya, so you can get the shields up to absorb some damage, and you can put out a hell of a lot. Maybe Roadhog to pull through the shield and burst someone down quickly. Rush, on the other hand, don't really have a high mobility composition. They don't have a Mei themselves to use that counter Mei strat, and they don't have the flying strategy with like a D.Va, like a Pharah, people who can actually get over this wall.
So let's see if Norway can hold strong here. They're already 1-0 down after losing out Hollywood. They couldn't cap out the first point on Hollywood. Russia did it with ease, managed to go straight through. So I wonder, have they got enough? Onigod, his splits with the wall could be crucial. We saw Russia trying a similar strategy, but they just missed the split, I think, because we saw them all just pound on through. Speed is the essence of a Russia, and you can see they have a lot of fast heroes selected. Cypher this time choosing to go for the Tracer, while Shadowburn, of course, is going to be on the Genji. And Reds, no Winston. It doesn't look like Godspeed going to be hitting that Lucio, getting the power up. There goes the Fire Strike, actually catching Godspeed full in the face, so he might well just back away and heal himself up.
More than Godspeed. He's at 50% on his Earth Shot already, and Russia, they're going to see this wall come in. Actually, Onigod uses that way early. He's not going to have it off cooldown, and now they can just amp it up with Godspeed to push through this choke point.
Oh, that's a great left click, though. Godspeed going down, gets himself a second as well. Nice work. And this is Norway holding strong at the moment. They've already picked off 3. There's no way this attack should work out. Cypher trying to dash around the side. He's getting picked off, tries to just get the hell out of dodge. There's another great left click headshot on Shadowburn, and that is Russia stopped. So this is what we talked about. They just need to hold them off. 1, 2 attacks, a couple of waves, buy themselves some time, get those ulti charges. And of course, considering that really very early Mei wall, they came out very well there.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that they were able to win that fight. Maybe a little bit of confusion
Way too early.
out of the side of Russia.
Again.
Yeah, and not to mention, Horsey picks up the kill on the Cypher, so already having that Tracer now eliminated is actually going to be a big detriment here for Russia. As Shadowbird's able to respond, though. Does get the kill on a Badger somehow. Kills the Winston. And with the Shadow Blade being popped, yeah, he's going to be coming in.
Yep,
Shadow Blade, Dragon Blade.
Well, it could be a Shadow Blade. I mean, it's Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade, so it's a bit of a mix of the two. Flashbang working well. He does manage to get out of there just in time, though. But the rest of his team, again, Cypher only just come back out of respawn. He's down again. Not having much luck on the Tracer so far. Shadowburn, who managed to start their pips ticking, will get caught out. Another flashbang comes through, blocks it out there, but Horsey comes from behind. Cypher coming back out of the spawn once again. And now, 2 minutes already nearly gone here. Russia struggling to cap out this first point, but now the chaos starts to ensue. But Norway holding so strong.
Yeah, typically, whenever you get a kill, like on Hanamura here, onto the defense, the respawn time plus the actual distance you have to run works completely in attacker's favor.
Unfixed. Too many people chasing him there.
No, it was good. He was trying. He should have killed himself way earlier. He actually pushed through, and for some reason, Rush didn't kind of capitalize off that confusion and push through with them. So they have to wait for his respawn to come back in. They've got now 2 minutes left remaining. A res even being popped out of Trop just to get Onigod available. And I mean, tomorrow's that's actually a good res because you have that wall to use.
But now he has the Blizzard as well. So even if they were to get on the point, and obviously stay alive, Mei can stay alive for a long time. Transcendence available as well. A lot of ultis available. They've split Shadowburn off again. He will try and jump around, but there was a little gap around the side, and he's bought them time. The Earthshatter didn't catch. He caught Shadowburn, but that was it. That's all I could see. The Blizzard comes down, but McCree with the Deadeye strikes. A 4K for him, and that was just about all they needed. You're not going to get away from this one. And Norway, can they now hold out completely? Only 1 minute 20 on the clock here, Russia. They're going to get a 1 complete attack, and then they're in panic mode.
It's actually surprised me is that the Mei's not really the problem. Onigod isn't doing a lot of work with these walls. It's more about Envision and Average Jonas, and even Horsey able to chime in with some really crucial kills. And it seems like Russia has not had a response to this McCree, who's been pretty much unhindered for the most part, especially when he's on that high ground position. But Russia, they have, look at these ultimates. They have the Pulse Bomb Graviton Surge combo, and if Norway get too close together, they're going to pay the price.
They get around the back, they manage to get around the wall. That's the most important thing. The Pulse Bomb gets thrown out from Cypher, but is it going to be enough? Doesn't catch himself too much in there. Will get caught out. Godspeed picks himself up a double out of nothing there. Tron has been taken down. That's the Mercy picked off. Oh, that's a flying ice break. He's going to fall down the wall, and it looks like Russia may well have done it here. Badger on the Winston. He needs to be cleared out. It looks like they should take him down. Cypher's doing some serious work eventually. Will get taken down. The Lucio now going to pop the Primal Rage. He can force him away. He can try and bat him over the wall, but he's going to get no support out here. He's only just simply buying time, and that's maybe all they need. 20 seconds on the clock. They're going to get that pumped up by 4 minutes once it finally gets clocked out, but we're going to be close to what, 5 seconds by the time this gets finally finished? Is anyone going to be able to contest it?
This is rough. They're actually trying to contest it here. So if they lose this fight, Russia can quickly rush the second point and actually win this one. But the thing is, it's going to be taken in overtime here, most likely.
But they've got to be careful. They're in this dangerous situation that if they do try and contest it too much, and then they could flip really quick.
Yeah, and not to mention they can rush the second point really quickly.
That's what I mean. They can flip and run.
Especially with the high mobility comp that they did have with the Lucio, with the Winston, with the Tracer and the Genji. They're already on the second point here. Now Norway aren't really here to prepare and actually kind of hold on to this point.
The Blizzard goes down. It may well be enough to keep them away, but they haven't got any kills to follow it up, and that's the most important thing. You can see May having to ice block. Godspeed on the floor, but the reload had to come through, so Godspeed gets still alive. Cypher gets picked off there. That's going to be the Tracer going down. Unfixed off of the side there. There's going to be the sound barrier. Popping a load of health on them. They still can't get the kills. It's all going Blue's way. Russia might well have just flipped it straight in one.
Transcendent's going to buy a lot of time here. Onigat only had 29 HP. So just needs to touch him. He's finally going to fall. Unfix picks up the kill. Even Rubicon able to try back in. And Unfix now looking for this D.Va. It's going to be all on Traw Pierce, who switched from the Mercy over to D.Va just to delay even further. And they have 3 minutes left on the clock here. We're going to see an extended overtime fight. But the way it's going with Russia using these ultimates, with Unfix having his die available, I don't really see Norway having a chance of taking this one back.
Oh, man. You've got to feel for Norway. You've got to feel for them. But they fell for the classic pub stomp style. Everybody rushing in because you think, there's only 10 seconds left. We can contest it and hold it. But then you commit too many people forward. You should have just maybe sent the 1 or 2 just to, like the May was already there. The fast heroes, basically, people who can get there quick and get in and out and just like contest it as long as they can. But
yeah,
they threw too much in there.
Actually, the May did decently well for the fact that it almost put like a reset in the game for Norway, because it bought time, right? Obviously with the Blizzard, with the extended range of being 10 meters instead of 8 now, and penetrating shields, you can't sit anyone on the point with that. So it bought them time. The problem was they didn't get to set up like on the high ground like we saw Russia do and use that to advantage. It was just kind of like, all right, well, we have to fight now. And when you have post bomb ready to go, you have the Winston in there as well to give the shield and to buy some time. And with them being so mobile, getting around the sides, it was really hard for anyone on Norway to actually pick up a kill. So Russia just completely capitalized off of that. And Norway, unfortunately, had to pay the price. And Norway will be on the attack here with a minute to go. So if they do capture the first point, they get an extra 30 seconds added to the time. So if they're in overtime, they still have that chance to take that second point on the last attack.
Yeah, for people asking what's with the stream quality, we are literally streaming as much as we can right now. Shadowburn, sitting at the side. Okay, now, Jason. He missed up the wall last time. Shadowburn, obviously ordinarily the Genji. But right now, he's on the May. And the May wall didn't come in for Russia, and they lost the point in seconds.
Yeah, you can't really have that happen. If you're playing Russia on the defense, especially when there's only a minute left to actually hold them off on. And Norway hasn't really adjusted a composition to work around the May either, even though they can assume it's going to be happening yet again. But Onigat going to be back on McCree here. We did see Envision. I believe it was playing a little bit of it as well, because Onigat was playing the May. And a little bit of overextension actually out of Reds, but luckily for him, he's able to get healthy. Onigat actually goes entirely past his team, and when you're up against a man like Unfix, a pro player for Reunited, you're not going to win that 1v1.
Not against the Zarya with a shield, that's for sure. Just going to pound away in his face, and it does mean, unfortunately, Norway, they only had a minute. They've only got 30 seconds left. They pretty much had to do it in the one.
Oh,
the sneaky Envision. But the thing is, I mean, while Genji's sneaky, they actually know he's there. Look,
yeah, Cypher.
You can see Cypher. He's looking for him constantly. Now he sees him. Now he's going to go for him. Manages to deflect. Manages to keep himself steady. While the rest of the team, now, is it enough to distract? You can see 10 seconds left on the clock. They have to get someone on point now.
If you literally wall the force point, they don't even have a chance to actually get to the point before it does actually take over. And Vision trying to go in towards the back. Shadowburn able to take down Horsey for the most part, but Vision still hasn't been dealt with. We're now in overtime here. This is crunch time for Norway.
Oh, he's got a second. He managed to take Cypher out straight away. Dashes around there. He has to keep himself on point. You can see the overtime ticking down. He will get dealt with. The Blizzard comes down. Average Joe's doing what he can to keep them at bay, but Rubicon comes in, and there's the spray from Shadowburn to finish it off, and Russia will hold strong despite Norway's interesting tactics.
Yeah, I was actually... Envision had a really good chance to win the game, or not the game, at least get the point for them on that go. If he was able to pick up that kill against Cypher, it would have been huge, because it would have put, obviously, Russia at a man disadvantage, and he would have had his ultimate at about 80%, so he would have actually had it in that fight. Obviously, it doesn't work out for them. But Norway did have a good defense. If we keep in mind, I mean, out of the initial 4 minutes they had to attack with, Russia capped the point almost in overtime. So there's definitely a chance with only 3 minutes for Russia to do it again. And that would force a tie situation in this map, which I haven't been told otherwise. It means it's a tie in the actual map in total. There's no actual King of the Hill playoff map.
I mean, it's a best of 5, so it's chances are we're going to go.
Well, what if we have a tie? I don't even know. I don't know what happens if we have a tie in the series. I'm assuming they play out something else. I'll try to ask that from the admins when we do have time, but Let's just hope we don't go to that situation.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but obviously having done just a racing tournament, and we had this strange situation where both the top racers actually tied 58 points to 58 points, which should never happen in racing games, but they did. And bearing in mind, a Ford Focus RS was up for
tie in
grabs.
points? Isn't it based off time and how quickly you finish?
No. So it's a FIA point system, which is the Formula. It's the Association of Formula, etc., racing, etc. So it's. Yeah, but generally it really doesn't happen very often, but suddenly it did. It was just like, what do we do? We ended up having a playoff, which is exactly what we'd expect to happen here. But here we go, Russia. They've got 2 minutes 46. Now, it took them over, what, 3 minutes 40 or something like that to cap out the first point last time. Let's see if Norway can hold a little stronger.
And they're trying to bait out the wall here, too. And so much pressure is on Onigod here to get this wall off correctly, and Russia doesn't have a super high mobility composition to get around it. How do they kill? Oh, Trub, that's terrible for them. That's actually horrible for Norway. That's going to cost them this map.
That's cost them the game, yeah, absolutely. You can see that's going to cause them problems. They're going to get around the side. Rubicon working some brilliant work there. Gets himself both supports down in the end, Rubicon, and that is going to be a very easy cap for Russia. So, 2-0 Russia. Take it on Hanamura. Despite such a brilliant defense for Norway, they held them out until the last dying seconds of the half in the first round. But the time bank, it can be a crucial and deadly mistress. And in the end, Russia just flipped straight in there and flipped the map on the head. So, 2-0. Russia. Gibraltar is coming up. Watch point Gibraltar. Obviously, it is a payload map. Very different to the two we've just played. Obviously, a hybrid map for the first one in Hollywood. Went very much in Russia's favor. Norway unable to cap out the first point. So I just worry that maybe Hanamura was their thing. Maybe something like that. That was their chance maybe to catch out players. Maybe. I wouldn't even say that they're not used to it anymore because everybody's used to Hanamura now.
Well, even Norway, actually on Reddit, they made a post after showing us. He ended up asking, saying that actually quite a few of them are on a team together. Him, Onigod and Vision are on a team, and they're actually looking for an organization. So obviously,
Alpha.
Yeah, they're not a terrible team at all. To be honest, like they've been, I guess, surprised at us. They actually did really well there on that map. The problem is on capture point maps in general, the pressure's on the defense because your goal is to not die.
Yeah.
Which
and when you see a Mercy get picked off in a 6-man standoff, it's like, well, that's the Mercy.
And it's rough because when you're like a pro player, you have to be really confident in yourself, right? You have to be confident you can take anyone on 1v1. But then if you go for that peak and you die, you basically just cost your team that point. So
peak you lose, I believe, is binding a certain caster uses.
So it's a little bit unfortunate for them after such a strong initial defense. But now they have a third chance. Watch point Gibraltar. They need to win this map to keep their hopes alive of going to BlizzCon.
Yes. So, will it be Russia? At the moment, it's looking most likely they're going to switch sides and just force you. No, there's still Norway on red.
They've been switching a couple of teams there, a couple of points. Because I believe the loser gets choice of side unless they change the rules from.
Keep you on your toes with the graphics. Is that what you're saying?
Please.
I mean, I guess, do you want to defend to start with, or do you want to attack to start with? If you're 0-2 down, it's like, where do you go with this?
After Hollywood, I would not want to defend first, or I would not want to attack first, to be honest. Considering they didn't even get the first point on Hollywood.
I like the fact it's only Rubicon using the Russian flag. Like, none of the others are represented.
Well, are they actually all Russian? I'm trying to remember.
No, so Cypher's Belarusian, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Belarus is technically... I think it's part of Russia, part of the...
Because they combined some of it.
Yeah, it is. Belarus is, let's say, part of Russia. It used to be part of the Soviet Union, obviously. I'm sure he's Belarusian.
Yeah, so Cypher is... Yeah, Belarus.
Yeah.
The rest are Russian.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody else is Russia. So
shame on you, Reds and Unfixed and Shadowbird and Godspeed. Shame on... maybe they didn't get it. I didn't even get the American flag when I tried.
Well, we got China flag for Onigod and Korea flag for Badger. But like you say, maybe they just didn't get it. They just didn't get the lucky loots.
I got Australia thinking it was UK. So Mitch actually taught me that the Union Jack is in like every colony country of England. Even Hawaii has a Union flag in it. I didn't even know that. Mm-hmm. So the other day I learned.
Today you learned.
The
American flag used to have it in there as well at one point, but then you guys they had independence. What was that about? Civil wars. Who wouldn't want to be part of the British Empire?
Everyone in the world, apparently.
apparently quite a lot of people. In fairness, you know what? British Empire, while it was great, it's also caused a hell of a lot of problems across the world. So I can't really trump it.
I think every country's caused a hell of a lot of problems around the world.
Every problem that happened around the world. You look at all these countries, all these issues that happen in Africa, in the Middle East, and everything. All used to be part of the British Empire at one point or another.
We know the true cause of all this now.
Problems, people.
Yeah. But to remind you guys, if you're just joining us, since a lot of you have, I look at the Twitch numbers. We have another match coming up after this. It's Finland versus Benelux. That is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So in about an hour and 10 minutes from now, if this game does finish in a 3-0, we're gonna have to have a break until that time. And then there's another match after that, France versus Turkey at 8. So we're not 100% sure if we will be casting that. It depends on how quickly the Finland versus Benelux game goes. And that's it for today. We still have Germany versus Iceland, Sweden versus Italy, and Spain versus CIS and Baltic Sea. Those matches have yet to be scheduled, so we don't know if they're happening tomorrow or on Friday. So you have to kind of keep up to date.
They've got 2 days or 3 days total to figure it out.
And you can type exclamation point schedule in chat to actually find out when those games are happening, whenever we have them updated.
And we're also waiting for this one to happen. But let's look at the groups. Let's go back to the groups. That's what we were doing beforehand, before we got rudely interrupted by a match starting.
How dare you? How dare they?
How very dare they? We are at the mercy of the players, obviously, waiting for them to start out. So we talked about Group A. We didn't talk about Group B, and obviously we're going to have Finland coming up afterwards. I think it's fair to say they were massive favourites in this group.
There was actually, so Finland, 100%. Yeah. I would say United Kingdom probably should have been the second favorite.
Yeah.
So they were going to be playing against Greece. However, one player didn't show, and they had a forfeit. And that would have put them tied with Iceland. Would it have? 2-1. 2-2. No, maybe it wouldn't have. Actually, okay, maybe it didn't matter in the end. Maybe they changed. But nonetheless, they had to forfeit the match, and that's kind of the results of this one. Iceland actually upset Team United Kingdom in a best-of-3. They actually were able to beat them, so maybe Iceland does 100% deserve that spot. Group C, that's most of the games we actually covered, I believe. We focused on France for the most part. Actually, the captain of France is a coworker of ours. So we've been giving him a lot of crap, actually, about that, getting voted in through YouTube. But he's done a hell of a job. And even with even a lot of criticisms onto the team with like ACAM and Wynn's not there, and even Unco, they still did a hell of a job coming out first. Norway as well surprised us quite a bit. Unfortunately, they're down 0-2 at the moment. Down towards Group D, we can expect Sweden to win 100%. Team full of pro players did a dominating job throughout the entirety of the time. Turkey, though, coming up as a second. And I believe Denmark, even after forfeiting one game, actually to come out in third place. Group E, as we're seeing, Russia coming through as first seed. First seed plays second. Italy played against Russia, actually. I heard it was a hell of a game, and Russia was able to take that victory. But Group F, this is the group that we looked at as like the group of death. Because Benelux, Czech Republic, and Spain, Benelux and Spain all have pro players, and the Czech Republic was able to actually do some really good work against Austria and Serbia that we saw when we were actually watching their games. But it's Spain versus Benelux. That'll be interesting. Winghaven up against his former teammate Too Easy. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, that's pretty much been the groups in general. We still have the Latin America and Asia Pacific games. Not all of them are fully scheduled, so I can't actually tell you what's happening necessarily with those games. But hopefully we can give you more information when we actually do have it, because teams have to schedule their matches, and not necessarily all of them are free at the same time. Yeah,
we're just waiting for the teams, guys. I know you guys in chat are like, why is the game not started? Start the game! It's like, well, we're kind of saying waiting for the exact same thing, so we're saying go and start the game already. Just internally. We use our internal voices, which you guys at home could use instead of typing your fury onto Twitch chat. But either way,
I love the fury. I'm fueled by anger.
Fueled by anger.
Of Twitch chat. Let's just drop it again.
So they've actually stayed on the right teams for you, so you're all right. You don't need to change anything around. So as you can see, it is going to be Russia starting out on the defensive side, and that is going to be Watch Point Gibraltar. There's my mouse cursor. Where did you come from? Sneaky. Go away. We don't want you here. Norway on the attack. Can they do it? They're 2-0 down. It is a best of 5, so this is game time for them. Do or die. Envision looking like he might well be going onto the Genji once again. Has done a couple of times. We'll see if it works out. We're seeing the Hog coming out, though, from Unfixed. See whether he can make that work.
Yeah, Flux player for United.
Briefly seen it. Now we see a beautiful vista view of a transport ship. Probably not from Hanjin anymore, because they've just filed for bankruptcy, unfortunately.
I would like to see the comps. There we go. And there we go.
I would like to see the comps.
So maybe if that happens again, we'll just restart the clean feed.
I
Or
already did.
refresh like twice the clean feed 3 times. Yeah, I don't know what Russia's and Norway both running. So we do see Reinhardt on the high ground at the moment. We do see Lucio in there. We got Zen as well for the side of Norway. Like I said, Envision playing Genji. Oni got on Pharah. I like to see this. Pharah's had quite a big comeback lately with the recent changes to Mercy in particular. Against Cypher's McCree, it's going to be a little bit tough, and Shadowburn's Genji as well. It's going to be hard to pull off, but let's see them try.
Okay, here we go. There is Onigod. The man has a lot on his shoulders here. First point is to clear off this left edge. Give, I was about to say Shadowburn a chance, but it'd be Envision a chance on the Genji to get around the side there. Both Genjis being used here. The boost comes out, immediately Shadowburn catches him in the chops with a shuriken, which is, it's all right, it's fine. Trouble will just heal himself up and get himself that ulti build.
Thing is, the Pharah is not bad on this first point as well, assuming Russia is going to be holding either the high ground here, which they are, or that server room, because obviously funneled into a tight position.
Oh yeah.
And you can hit quite a few people at once. And then Shadowburn makes quick work of them. So Onigod's going to fall. Man advantage here for Russia, not to mention Rubicon taking on average Jonas. And there you go. Russia going to have a first hold here. And keep in mind, the extra point that was there under the bridge is now gone in the latest patch.
Yeah.
So you don't actually get that extra point, that extra time allotted to you.
Yeah, so you still only got 3 minutes. It's it makes it a little trickier. I mean, Watchpoint Gibraltar was arguably one of the harder payload maps as it was. There's a few big choke points, especially just in the shuttle bait. If you get round there. Shadowburn just, you know, stopping time, effectively.
So he's into the matrix here, trying to figure out his plan. That's how he does it. He stops time, he knows the perfect plan of attack, and then he just wrecks people.
I mean, I could aim if it was stopped like that. I reckon, in vision, I reckon I could hit him there. It's impressive.
Yeah, so maybe we'll switch back to our lovely faces and give you a second to refresh the clean feed again.
It's quite frustrating when we have the sound. Apparently it's not us. Damn it.
So we'll hop back in once ever it refreshes there.
I'm doing it. I'm working on it. How you doing, guys? Nice to see you. You know what? I was meant to bring something in. Perhaps we'll bring it out in the next game. But it's looking like it's all right. Let's get back in the game as we drop in there, and you can see Norway have taken the first point.
Well, we didn't see how it happened, but we see they sure as hell were able to do it.
There was a lot of shurikens involved by the sounds of it.
That does. I think Envision went ham there with the Dragon Blade because that's on cooldown. Shadowburn wasn't able to get his off. That's a beautiful
double
sight.
reflect.
Yeah, it's almost as beautiful as a double rainbow. But Norway have Horsey with the Transcendence. Onigod actually switching over from the Pharah. Yeah, I'm trying to tweak it because it's quiet and it's loud and sometimes. Onigod switched over from the Pharah to the Tracer though, so that was probably a key point to them securing that point. Not to mention Russia, they have 5 ultimates up, but Cypher doesn't have a chance to use his at the moment.
No, indeed. See Shadowburn. He's going to wait for this Transcendence to come around. He's got his Dragon Blade. There we go. Transcendence finishes. Doesn't quite time it perfectly. Looking for Envision. He's in that awkward situation where he's already used his dash. Can't get onto them. And now he's forced to back himself down. Willow instead get the support from his team. And they're going to hold them in the shuttle bay. 3:37. And the payload is in that awkward position where it's trapped under the shuttle.
I thought Ninja's supposed to be quiet, but those are pretty damn loud footsteps.
Shadowburn is not that quiet.
Yeah.
He's a heavy ninja.
Yeah, he is.
Heavy set.
Russia on the high ground, though, it's going to be really hard to kind of dislodge them for this, because Norway doesn't really have a comm to do that. You have Tracer, yes, who technically can get up there, but it's really difficult to make that happen. So you're depending on Envision and Badger to force them off the high ground. So if the payload ever starts to move, because Norway's on it, then you can immediately just drop straight on top of them.
Nicely done there. Cypher just rolls himself back, knows the distance. Primal Ray's not going to work out from get out away from the pulse bomb. Won't get caught out by that one. Badger just going to left click to death there. Doesn't go down though, and now he has to deal with the fact that he got around the side there. Horsey's headshot will land, and that's going to be Cypher doing some serious work. He hasn't been flushed off from this point. The rest of his team have. Average Jonas, he's going to get caught out. There's the right click to the face. Oh, God's going to get dropped off as well. Envision will deflect it. Nice.
And gets it right in time here, and now it's just pretty much all at Unfixed by himself to delay this one, but respawn for Russia's going to be there. Rubicon does have Transcendence, so they can afford to fight on the point yet again. But Envision, he's got to be the man you have to watch out for. That Dragon Blade is going to be very impactful. Again, the problem is that they were able to actually dislodge Russia off the high ground, which was very surprising. Then again, I think Russia kind of forced an engagement onto the point that, for the majority, didn't really work out for them. Not to mention, ooh, Earthshatter coming in out of actually Reds. It actually saves his life here for the moment.
Yeah, nice little dodge as well from Envision. Just to see it coming. Dragonblade comes out, doesn't catch a great deal with it yet. Now he's in that awkward running situation, does get one. That's going to be the reset. Cypher, though, is going to be the man he took down, but he's going to have to back away. There's a big Winston in his face. And the rest of the team, though, are working, and now they're in total roles reversed. They're pushing the payload through, and Russia are behind them.
And they're trying to push the payload. Unfix is going to buy a hell of a long time here with the Primal Rage, able to knock them off the actual payload. Problem is, it's ran out, and now he has to run away from this one. Shadowburn, in the meantime, as well, trying to stall, trying to buy some time for Russia's next attack. That Sound Barrier, though, coming out of Trob is actually going to buy them a lot of time. It's going to buy them a lot of longevity to this fight, but it doesn't seem to matter as Russia pick up 3 quick kills.
Yeah, with Average Jonas missing that charge, it bought all the time in the world for Reds to just counter it and slam it down. So, payload still stuck in the shuttle bay. 1 minute 20 left on the clock, and now look at the aggression, the aggressive defensive work coming out from Russia. Shadowburn knows he can buy himself a lot of time for his team here if he can land some of these shots. Great deflecting work there. Just bounces straight back in Average Jonas's face.
And it actually still hit Shadowburn, though, because it got reflected back at him here by Envision, and then he got reflected, they got reflected, and then he got hit. So, pretty nice sight. In the meantime, Norway can try to take the high ground again. This is exactly what they did last time. They able to dislodge Russia from this position, and Badge as well. The Primal Rage is going to make quick work of this one. But Unfixed already taken down Trob, and that's a lot of healing you're missing out on as Norway.
Yeah, that's the Lucio going down, but look at this. It's a blue clean feed. It's Reds going off around the side. He's forcing them away. Badger's now all alone. He's going to get dropped off, and now 37 seconds on the clock is panic time for Norway. They have to regroup and push in one quick, fluid motion.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough considering it took them this long to actually get the payload to this position. Shadowburn, we're going to see that. We're going to see it again.
The two just came straight past.
That's always great to see. It's whoever, you know, you talk about Moo, whoever hooks first loses. Well, whoever reflex first loses in this situation. But Envision with the Dragon Blade. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. That's the problem. You have the longevity out of Unfix with his Primal Rage and Godspeed with the Sound Barrier. It's going to be really hard to kill anyone on the side.
Oh, Horsey getting separated there, but you can see he uses Transcendence. And while they all went for Horsey, they may actually get on the payload. They're going to be able to push it through. They're on the payload now. Now the question is, can Shadowburn go off? No, he gets taken down. Reds gets dropped, and it's just down to a left. Big Primal Rage in Unfix to keep them away. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. They're going to hit the point and move into the final payload point.
Unfix is still trying to stall, though. Cypher coming back in, but the problem is Cypher doesn't really have much protection.
Reds.
But in the meantime, Reds finally gets in there with some shield action, but Envision picks up another kill on Cypher, and Godspeed again dies twice before getting the Sound Barrier off. He died actually in the transaction. No, it wasn't him. He didn't even try to pop because it was Trob who went for it. But you can't afford to die twice as a Lucio without using that Sound Barrier. That could have given them so much more longevity in the fight.
They hit the point, but they've only got a minute. They have to just try and do this in one big fluid push. Can it be enough, though? You can see Onigod trying to get himself up in high ground. Positional advantage, Deadeye available. The payload making its way around. He's waiting to bounce. He needs to get out just at the right time, just as they engage, just as they push forward, just as Russia feel they have the advantage. He gets around the side. He gets himself two. Is it enough? That's the question. Shadowburn goes around the back. He manages to get himself the one down on towards the Zenyatta. Shadowburn starts going off, but he gets caught down. The Earthshatter catches him. Can they get the hammer down on him? Yes, it does look like it, but Reds is also pounding onto Average Jonas, and this is a back and forth fight, but the payload continues to move, but it's slowly getting held up. There's one man they need to take down. It's the tank.
Yeah, Reds has got to concede a lot of this area too, because he has a vision in his face, not to mention the monkey off to the side. The charge is just not going to land at all here, and Russia need to somehow deal with Envision, because you're seeing Norway's reaction. Average Jonas is constantly earth-shattering Shadowburn whenever he possibly can, but 20 seconds left to go. Envision, you cannot afford to die at this position.
Oh, that's a dangerous death there. 15 seconds to go. The rest of the team forced away, and Russia feel it. They know it. They've held it. They're going to push them back. 10 seconds on the clock. Cypher, well, he's just going to take himself a high position. Why not? He's got Deadeye available. He can catch them all around the back there. There's the Deadeye coming down. Thank you very much. Russia hold. Now it's a distance race for Russia to see if they can cap this point.
That flick was really good. And the problem, what's really sad is that we're not even seeing the time bank system used in these games, because one team is failing to actually finish the map. So we're not actually seeing how it's going to affect when it comes to it. I think for the most part, we haven't really seen the time bank system used on payload across any of the games we've casted so far.
I mean, it's obviously because the group stage generally is fairly lopsided.
There were some lopsided games
to get towards the more even teams later in the tournament, and obviously that's probably going to be by the time we hit BlizzCon.
Yeah. We're going to have some really good games at BlizzCon, I feel like, especially representing Europe here. But I want to point out again, just you see the focus of Norway, in particular Average Jonas, constantly trying to earth shatter on a Shadowburn. And you pretty much completely eliminate this man who is so prolific on this Genji, as we said multiple times. And you take him out of the equation, And not to say that the rest of Russia isn't as good as Shadowburn, they clearly are, but that Genji is the big turning point and is kind of one of those heroes that can completely turn a fight around. Like if League of Legends, if you're a League of Legends fan, basically like Katarina out of nowhere with the resets can completely turn a team fight if you time it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact that it is Shadowburn, you know, he is a very, very good Genji player.
He's one of the few Genji players like in the world that is so good that he can play it defensively.
Yeah.
When you strictly only play Genji offensively these days.
Yeah. Although you could argue, you know, the fact they didn't get to the Overwatch Atlantic showdown, Anox getting knocked out in that one, maybe it wasn't good enough.
No, so Shadowburn was he on Anox at the time, or was he teamless?
Was he with FaZe at the time?
Well, no, he definitely wasn't with FaZe at the time. He was with We United.
He was. That was it. We United.
Yeah, he was with We United at that time.
FaZe, etc., etc. I don't think he was. I don't know actually. I'd have to check. I think he was. You know,
wasn't he? He was part of Quick Fortress, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but I think he'd become Anox by then during the qualifiers. I don't know. I'd have to check my notes.
Either way, it's unfortunate.
There's been a lot of players shuffling around here, left, right, and centre. But yeah, wasn't me. Didn't touch it. Just a little cough.
Gotta hold my breath whenever that happens. So Norway on the defense, Russia on the attack, and you can see the distance, 73.43 meters to go here for Russia.
Aggressive defense from Norway. They are very far forward and already got to be careful they don't get caught out there. You can see Cypher, he goes hunting because he spotted how aggressive they were. He's caught one around the side there. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it has. That's Badger getting taken down early. It's such a long run for the defensive team to get back around here. That's a real problem. Now you can see they're getting around the side there. Cypher gets himself up into the high ground. The flashbang counters back onto him, but now we can see that deflection used. He picks up Envision midair. Oh my word. This is going to be a very quick push from Russia on the first section.
Yeah, and you put it out perfectly with Badger dying, like the Roadhog of all heroes dying first, who has the biggest health pool in the game. Obviously really hard to be mobile with them. With them just getting picked off, it goes back to Hanamura, like we said. If you die on defense, when your biggest priority is to stay alive, stuff like this is going to happen. And Russia's going to be able to capitalize on this one completely, especially with the team that they have behind them. And Average Jonas, he has to be so careful. He cannot afford to die here. This payload's going to get so much distance before they can even contest, and Norway doesn't even have the opportunity now to take high ground control.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not going to get the high ground. They just can't get it. With the tank going down there, you can already see Shadowburn's in there. There's already another, I can't see who it is, that's on top of the shuttle bay as well. Might have been Cypher. Cypher's been picked off, so that must have been a hook there. You can only feel that Badger may well trying to buy himself a little time. It's Badger that's up there in the shuttle bay, but look, the shuttle's underneath. Unfix comes through. He gets himself a single kill. Reds comes in as well, and it is once again a very blue kill feed. Sadly for Norway fans out there, it's not looking good, boys. Russia are kind of rolling through Gibraltar.
Not to mention, when they have basically 5 minutes here and then an extra time allotted to them, up to 6 minutes to push, Norway need to somehow put up a big defense. And not to mention, they still have 2 more maps after this. If they can even hold this, you still have potentially King's Row and Ilios. And you don't want to fight Russia on Ilios. You don't want to fight them on a very TDM kind of DM-style map.
Yeah, so here we go. The final defense, I feel, for Norway here to keep themselves in the World Cup. They got themselves, I don't know whether you would argue it was a decent draw getting Russia. It could have been worse, I feel, with someone like Finland or Sweden. But either way, it's been a tough old task. Their best chance was Hanamura, and Vision's going to try and back around the side there. You can see he's in this little ninja position. Can he work with the Dragon Blade?
Well, he's going to try to do something here. That Saber's going to buy a lot of extra time here, and Rubicon doesn't have Transcendence, so he will eventually be able to pick up this man. But there's Shadowburn responding.
Oh dear. Yeah, Shadowburn comes in, and that is death to the ninja of Envision. He gets picked off. Shadowburn not able to work too much here. He's having to back away more than anything. Gets himself a little health pack, and it just jumps away. But while this is all happening, the payload is still in that awkward corner position. Now they have to deal with the Roadhog. Headshot comes in from Shadowburn, takes him down. Unfix still doing work on the Winston around the backside. He gets himself on there, and he's just Reds to back away. He's trying to do what he can to keep them at bay. Average Jonas, he's going to get batted away. And you can see the big golden marker on the floor. They don't need to finish the map. They just need to hit that. And it looks like Russia are going to be able to do it. Shadowburn's Dragon Blade will finish the game, and Russia take it 3-0.
And now I gotta wonder what's the play of the game going on here for Russia, because you know that's what it's all about for the teams. But nonetheless, Russia have been coming through. I believe it was undefeated in their group. Yeah, even able to beat out on Italy, and they will go undefeated here in the knockout stage, be able to go to BlizzCon to represent Russia against the world. It's gonna be great to see.
That's what you like to see. You like to see the big nations that you're used to seeing at something like a World Cup. These big nations. It's Unfixed of all things with the play of the game. It's just at the end here. It's just at the end.
Does he get knockoffs?
He must just
He's
batter
getting
them
one.
out. Yeah, there goes one. There goes another.
Oh, he did get Cypher. Or so not Cypher. He got Oni got there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a double knockoff. Not bad.
So congratulations to Russia, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0 in a best of 5. They didn't need the other maps. They did it in a quick, clean sweep. Kings Row would have been up and Ilios to follow that, but they didn't even need to go there. So coming up, it is going to be
Finland versus Benelux. Could be a great game.
Well, maybe our final match today. Hopefully. You never know. I don't know. I don't know whether to say hopefully, because if it's not the final
So
game
you're
of the
hoping
day,
for a
it means it's been a
3-0
stomp.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, we finished this in under an hour, so
that's true.
there's definitely a
That's
good
true.
chance.
But yeah, Finland versus Benelux, that will be coming up. It will be at 7 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Tune in for that. We'll see you there.